How's everyone doing today? This is the Worcester Stunfisks, or Toast. This is technically week 6 of the VBA Draft League tournament. I do not actually have an opponent this week. PR Cans were the opponent I was supposed to go against, but due to some circumstances that came up, which we will not discuss, they had to unfortunately drop from the league. So this is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to kind of just go over, the past 5 weeks, since this is a free week for me in a sense. Unfortunately, it's one of my only 2 wins. I've been having kind of a rough season. Nothing for nothing. I mean, happens. Pokemon is very much not just a game of skill, but luck does play somewhat of a factor into it, and although luck has not been the deciding factor for most of these games, it has definitely played a little bit of a role. That being said, we'll go over kind of just briefly the matches I've had, while doing that, watch my shitty artwork. By the way, it is like 7 o'clock in the morning. I pulled an all-nighter. If I start saying some weird ass shit, my brain starts going smooth. Kind of just forgive me on that. So without further ado, first match of this season, I went up against Joe. I went against Joe in season 0. It was a really good match. Joe played extremely well. Unfortunately for game 2, which I think I would have been able to clutch it out, it was going to be close no matter what. I was hit with 4 crits. I kept saying 5. I was a little bit of a dumbass. It was 4 when I went back and rewatched it. The crits on the Crobat, which I think there were 3 on Crobat overall. No, it was just 2. A Nice Shard and a Dazzling Gleam. If those 2 crits didn't go through, I would have been able to break the multi-scale on the Dragonite and get the KO on it. Also the crit on the Azelf on the first turn. Azelf would have survived the Max Bug, or Fluttershy, or whatever the hell it's called in Pokemon. That's the way the cookie kind of crumbles. Again, was a good match. It was going to be close no matter what. Just unfortunate. Second week though, and I don't know if I was on full tilt or what. Totally forgot to Dynamax first turn against Rhett, and even with that huge fuck up or screw up, excuse my language, I almost pulled the first game back, but I was beating myself up so bad that game, I just hard through the second one. I was clicking whatever the hell I felt like clicking. That didn't go too well. Then for the third week, we had the Boston Blissies, and that was technically my first win. That was going to be a scary match. The one thing I will say is against all the matches I've had, I felt like I've prepped well. I've covered for most of the things I've gone against, but it's been a struggle. The team I did pick was meant to be easy build because my schedule's been absolute crud. But Boston Blissies had a Sun team. Honestly, if I didn't have Credilli, it probably would have been a completely different story. Game 2, she made the really good decision of getting the Max Airstream up into the Credilli to set up for the end game, since I had Buzzwole in the back, and I'm pretty sure she figured I did have the Buzzwole in the back with Scarf. Knowing that, and knowing that she went for that, it made that end game situation really scary. I don't really have much else to say. I was at least happy to get that win. Following week, I went up against Rolo, or the West Side Weezings. Again, another good set of matches. This time I lost 2 matches, got one. First one was kind of a roll in my favor. Second 2 matches, I got rolled completely by the Clefable. Funny thing is, though, I kept second guessing myself on the. I'm like, I know it's AV, and I wanted to switcheroo it. And I said, no, I'm not gonna do it, and I should have. Because like looking back, the Zerk would have definitely picked up the KO on the Clefable instead of it KOing Zerk. I mean, what are you gonna do? And then going into game 3, I was such an idiot. Like, Cardilli gave me RNG for once on my side. Like, there really was no RNG in this game that actually hurt me. I don't think. But yeah, no, like getting the Ancient Power boost, 10% chance of that happening. That was impressive. It made me happy, gave me some hope. That hope is dashed the following week, but I screwed up. I knew there was a sash. I knew it. I didn't do it. I threw that match so hard. It was mine to win, and I threw it. It was a really well played match. I mean, we went 3 games and it came down to the wire. Shuckle ended up getting me with the Infest Toxic on the Cardilli. Again, what are you gonna do? I could have played it better. Could have played it different. Again, though, I don't think the team prep itself was bad. I think the team prep was good. And that brings us to week 5 against the Portugal Pokeballs. That week was very heartbreaking. First game. It was pretty. Pikachu is pretty clutch there, and you know, I was pretty happy with it. Going to the second game, Pikachu gets the KO on Crustle. It's now 2-3. Second turn, or was it second turn? Whatever. Pikachu ends up going down to the Stack Attacka. Eventually, Trick Room goes up. Portugal's down to 2 Pokemon. I'm down to 3 under Trick Room, and it was a flinch from hell. That flinch was from hell. I mean, not much that you can do about it. It was devastating. It brought me to game 3, where, as people do know, I had the DC, costing me game 3. I had game 2 if I didn't get flinched with the 3, because I had Zerk in the back, which was Scarf, which was going to underspeed, but if I didn't get flinched, I would have gotten the KO on the Stack Attacka, which would have left Zerk versus Incineroar with the Cardilli, and there was going to be no way for the Incineroar to pick up the KO on both Pokemon. So Zerk would have either been able to pick up the KO on the Incineroar, or the Cardilli would have with Ancient Power, because it was boosted with +2 at that time. Then going into game 3, it was definitely a tug of war back and forth. Got down to the last 4 Pokemon. There's some definite misplays on both sides of the team, or field. Coming down to the last 3 turns, or what should have been the last 3 turns, it was Buzzwole, Incineroar, Crustle. Crustle was +1 defense. Incineroar was pretty much on the brink of death. Buzzwole was at 108 HP, if I remember correctly, which Rock Wrecker, which was the strongest move my opponent had on the Crustle, would only do 104 max. So the idea was Drain Punch into the Incineroar, get the +1 attack. My opponent did tell me that they didn't Rock Wrecker into Buzzwole, so even with a crit that turn, I wouldn't have gone down. If they did Rock Wrecker into Buzzwole, they would have needed a crit to actually KO the Buzzwole. So pending that, I would have been 2 hits away from KOing the Crustle, because if they did use Rock Wrecker, they would have been essentially Hyper Beam for a turn, where they have to recharge. And if they use any other move, it was going to do max 20%. If Portugal Pokeballs use Heavy Slam, it would have done like 9% to Buzzwole, and everything else was like maybe 15-20%. So I got myself into a good end game after a really strong tug of war on the field and board setup. A little bit of a devastating loss. I'm now sitting 4th from last. I essentially have to win the next couple all of my matches. Yeah, all of my matches. Oh boy, and Detroit Dragonites are what I'm up against next, and boy, Audio, looking at your team, I'm fucking scared shitless, man. Go easy on me, man. I need something. Alright, thanks everyone for watching. I don't care what you do. Like, subscribe, fuck it. Give it a thumbs down, shit. Hate the video. You know what? Do that. Hate the video. Thank you, everyone. Have a good one. Bye-bye.